Good afternoon. It's just past 3 p.m. on the east coast of Florida. You may need sunglasses due to the brightness of my lipstick. And of course, the reason I'm wearing that is I am showing solidarity in something that has been throughout history with the red lipstick as a way for women to show solidarity and power. And so one of the first places that this happened throughout history was actually the women's suffragette movement. It was worn as a symbol of protest in many movements. And in fact, in 1912, Elizabeth Arden, of course, the cosmetics company, gave away free red lipstick to suffragettes who were marching in New York City. And suffragettes like Elizabeth Cady Stanton and Charlotte Perkins Gilman wore the red lipstick to show defiance and, in theory, intimidate men. It was also seen as bold, feminine, and powerful. And also, this was done in 2018 in anti-dictatorship movements, and men and women in Nicaragua wore red lipstick in the campaign there to protest the country's dictatorship. And in Portugal, women have worn red lipstick to protest oppressive regimes. In 2019, women in Chile wore red lipstick to protest SA, and red lipstick has therefore, for a very long time, become a symbol of female liberation and independence, and I cannot think of a time where we need this more. And by the way, also during World War II, American women wore, quote, Montezuma red in their military uniforms, and the Allied women wore, quote, victory red. And as I said, the red lipstick then has been used as a symbol of protest because it is associated with female empowerment, defiance, and rebellion. Now, of course, today, we now are in a trade war with our allies, Canada and Mexico, our border allies, and also with China. And so Trump said today that Americans could, quote, feel some pain from this emerging trade war, triggered by his tariffs. Gosh, do you think the voters knew that? They thought the price of eggs was going to go down and the price of gasoline, even though not only did we try to tell them that every single thing that he said, all of his, people he was putting into the various positions said, and Project 2025 said, it all said that what is happening right now in every single way was going to happen. That nobody seemed to believe us or even believe Trump himself or even Elon Musk, who also had said before the election that, yeah, it might be hard on Americans for a while. They're going to have to suffer for a while, says the world's most richest man. So, of course, these trade penalties that Trump signed yesterday at Mar-a-Lago caused a mix of panic, anger, and uncertainty and threatened to rupture a decades-old partnership on trade in North America while further straining relations with China. Oh, yeah. And remember, Trump said no more wars with him. And then yesterday, he sent you-know-whats over to Somalia. Yeah. Anyway, the country's U.S. Ambassador Kristen Hillman said, the Canadian U.S. Ambassador Kristen Hillman said, quote, Canadians are perplexed. We view ourselves as your neighbor, your closest friend, your ally. And in fact, Justin Trudeau gave a very strong speech that we will talk about later that was very emotional in his feelings about what was happening between what was seen as a very close relationship here. But Trump also simultaneously broke his promise to voters, telling them that his administration could quickly reduce inflation, just like he said he could quickly end the war in Ukraine the minute that he was elected in day one. That didn't happen. But the same frustration that he is facing from other nations might also spread domestically in consumers and businesses here. I don't know, folks. I don't understand the people here, so I don't know. Anyway, Trump said in a Truth Social post, all caps, will there be some pain? Yes, maybe, but maybe not. But we will make America great again, and it will all be worth the price that must be paid. I just love when rich males tell us all what's going to make us feel better. Remember when Trump said that, women weren't going to have to worry anymore. He would help them and protect them whether they liked it or not. And I guess that's what's happening now, but this is to everybody. Remember the old FAFO, but we who didn't FA are getting real tired of having to come along for the FO part. You know, it's like back in school when someone in your class screws around and then the teacher punishes the whole class. Yeah, that's what's happening here. And of course, Trump also said, quote, "We don't need anything they have," meaning Canada. Well, despite that assertion, 1/4 of the oil that America consumes per day is from Canada. And then he reiterated his false claim that America subsidizes Canada. We don't. That's the whole problem when you elect somebody who lies literally all the time, anything that comes out of his mouth. And it's not like we're just finding that out. We knew that before he got elected and throughout his entire presidency, that that's what he does. So again, no surprises here. But what are some of the things that Canada is now putting tariffs on that affects us? Well, the first is alcohol, cosmetics, paper products, and then the second round later will include passenger vehicles, trucks, steel, aluminum products, certain fruits and vegetables, beef, pork, dairy products, and more. Canada is the largest export market for 36 states, and Mexico is the largest trading partner of the U.S. Mexico's President, Claudia Sheinbaum, also announced new tariffs against us, and then the Chinese government said it would take steps to defend its economic interests and intends to file a lawsuit within the World Trade Organization. Remember when Trump had all those groceries out and he said, quote, "Inflation is a disaster. It's a country buster. It's a total country buster." That was before the election. But now he's saying, you know, Americans are going to have to suffer. It's going to have to hurt for a while. And a former Treasury Secretary in the Clinton administration said the tariffs were, quote, "a self-inflicted wound to the American economy," which, let's all remember, kids, was doing real well. Even though, yes, there was inflation, people, again, are so short-sighted. That was worldwide. Huge inflation, mostly due to COVID. And America had climbed out and recovered by far the best than any other country. And our economy was doing so well. But again, no surprise, because remember, Trump is, and this is a fact, it's not me making this up, these are facts from the tax returns and records, particularly that came out in that fraud, the massive fraud that he was found liable for in New York. He's the most failed businessman ever in America. So all of the bankruptcies, everything, smoke and mirrors. He has a product that is his brand. That's his name. And he just simply doesn't pay anyone. And it was The Apprentice that bailed him out of basically losing everything of his family fortunes, the casinos, the whole shebang. And then with his last presidency, he was also able to prop himself up and just do a major grift on the American people. And now that is in overdrive. And that's where we are. That's who's steering the ship. Now, as I said, Prime Minister Trudeau of Canada gave a very emotional response to the Canadians there. And he said, quote, "During the day the world stood still, September 11th, 2001, when we provided refuge to stranded passengers and planes, we were always there, standing with you, grieving with you. The American people together, we've built the most successful economic, military, and security partnership the world has ever seen, a relationship that has been the envy of the world." He also said that Trump's tariffs were an affront to the blood and treasure that the two countries have shed as allies from the beaches of Normandy at the end of the Second World War to the alleyways of Kandahar, Afghanistan. He is calling on Canadians to do their part, urging a grassroots boycott of American products that they rely on in their daily lives. He said, even check the labels and pick Canadian-made products. It may be opting for Canadian rye over Kentucky bourbon, or foregoing Florida orange juice altogether. Ouch. Go to part 2.